Hello, and welcome to the CATS training video series. My name is Sam, and I'll be walking you through the software. In this video, we'll go over how to build and customize your workflow. Your workflow is a group of statuses that track where contacts, companies, job orders, and candidates are in their respective life cycles. To see your workflow, click on your avatar, then Administration, and then Workflow. CATS has already provided you with a few default workflows, and depending on which version you're on, you can build multiple different candidate workflows. Let's jump into the default candidate workflow to see how it all works. These statuses represent different steps along the hiring process. You can add, remove, and rearrange these statuses to make it fit your process, or you can delete everything and start over from scratch. Your workflow is one of the most customizable parts of CATS, so it's all up to you. You define the recruiting process. Let's start by adding a status. First, click Add Status. We'll title this first. Then, let's choose a color. Nice. Next, we'll choose its mapping. The primary purpose for mapping is for reporting, but it also helps categorize which candidates come from where. If a candidate applied via the website, they will be given the status No Contact, New Applicant, whereas if they applied via email, they'll be given the status No Contact, Email. Mapping essentially lets CATS know how it should define a status. Next, we'll throw in a prerequisite. This means you cannot move a candidate to the status without them first going through the prerequisite status. Then, we can save this status by clicking Add Status. Now, let's make sure our statuses are in the correct order. You can click and drag to place a status on a certain point along the workflow. However, a candidate does not have to follow the workflow step by step. For example, a candidate can go from New Applicant directly into Hired, or Not in Consideration if you wish. However, you can still set the order so the workflow makes more sense. And you can utilize prerequisites if you want to get a more rigid workflow. Now, let's turn our attention to triggers. Triggers are actions that take place as a result of a status change. For example, this trigger attached to Interview automatically sends an email to the candidate informing them of their status change. Let's put the same trigger on the new status we've made. First, click the green plus sign associated with the status. Next, choose the action you'd like the trigger to perform. In this case, send an email. Then we'll describe what the trigger does and specify whether or not it's required with the status change or optional. Then, we'll choose who the email is from. Now, write your email. Use the list of tags on the right to help construct a personalized email for the candidate. We'll throw in a candidate first name and last name, and we'll write it up. But wait, we can also reuse an existing trigger by clicking here. We'll select our trigger of choice, and then check to make sure everything looks good. And that's how to customize the workflow. Thanks for joining me. Click here to move on to the next video in the series, or click here if you're looking for something more specific. As always, you can call or email into the CATS support team. We're more than happy to answer any of your questions. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.